Level Up, as I said in the keynote, is the toolset to help your business grow on Play, and especially on all of the new gamer platform surfaces and features that we spoke about earlier on. I'm Tom. I am director for the games platform, also for Playpoints and PlayPass. It's good for you to know that because we will be taking questions at the end of this session. So as we're going through, make sure that you're thinking about all the things that you want to ask, anything that I don't make clear, the nasty questions that you always wanted to throw at a Googler. We'll see how it goes. So what we're going to cover over the next 45 minutes, hour or so, is really deep diving into the vision for Level Up. So I'm going to try to explain everything that sits behind what I spoke about at the keynote, to give you the context and hopefully the confidence to understand what we're really going for. We'll also talk about what the user experience guidelines really mean, what their dates mean, and how to interpret them as a developer. We're going to be hearing from a couple of partners today about the successes that they've already had on platform, both with achievements and with quests, which are driven by Play Game Services. And we'll be diving into tips and tricks in how to get the most out of what we spoke about, and also a sneak peek into what's coming up in the future as well. So building on what I spoke about at the keynote, then we really are trying to make Google Play a unified gaming platform. We want to create a positive product which becomes a self-sustaining growth engine for your business. We want it to work for every game dev, whether it is a large, huge dev or a small indie, whether you're running a premium game or a freemium game, whether you are monetizing primarily through ads and DAO, or whether you're monetizing through subscriptions or IAPs. And at the heart of making the platform work for all of you is the Level Up program. It's specifically designed to describe what we think are great baseline gaming experiences on the platform, and then to make sure that when you work with us to achieve that, you see real meaningful business results, so you know that your investment was worth it. To make it super easy for you to navigate this space, the user experience guidelines describe in detail some of the expectations of the modern gamer. And you can be confident that when you meet them, the Level Up program will rise to the occasion and deliver the engagement and monetization that you want. We're going to go through all of this in detail. But first, I did want to talk a tiny bit more about what I mentioned on stage. We talk to gamers a huge amount, and you all do too. And we know that they're frustrated by fragmentation within the ecosystem. They're not living on one platform. They're hopping between all of these different gaming islands. Your users find out about games via social feeds or discovery on YouTube. They also find out about it on Play surfaces. Then they play them somewhere else, right? They play on their Android phone, and sometimes they jump to their tablet, and thanks to Samsung's launch yesterday, they'll be on XR as well. And then when they're looking for help, they're jumping to the web, right? They're jumping into Google search and into Reddit, and gameplay videos on YouTube again and elsewhere. And then they're talking about it in loads and loads of different places. But what we hear from gamers when we talk to them about it is that when they think about their experience, they get frustrated because it's fragmented. They get frustrated because what they really want to do is get the most out of your game and have the maximum amount of fun playing it. And instead, this entire fragmented ecosystem is getting in the way of them doing that, which ultimately is getting in the way of them spending more time in your game, engaging with you more, and ultimately monetizing better. So that insight is what sits at the heart of the gaming platform, because we want to work together with all of you to bridge all of these islands. Together, we can make the gaming experience more seamless. We can make it more delightful. We can make it more rewarding, and ultimately, and more importantly, we can make it more helpful to the player and better performing for your business as well. That's what sits behind the launches that we made in September. That's why we launched the new Google Play games. It seamlessly links the gamer experience across all the different islands that I spoke about, and our aspirations is that it stretches out further and links more over time. It enables you specifically to better reach, engage, retain, and reacquire your users as well. And it does it in new and exciting ways with tools that haven't been available to everyone before. At the heart of you taking advantage of that is Level Up. Now, when we were thinking about all of this, we were really thinking about two key constituents. The first constituent with the Level Up program is you, right? It's game devs. If the platform doesn't deliver real, tangible, powerful growth for your business, it is not going to work. We've put a huge amount of effort, and we will continue to do so, to engineer surfaces and features and partnerships that are an engine for your success. Obviously, the second constituent we were worried about were our mutual users, right? The gamers. Now, for them, all of the features we're building, we don't want to get in the way. We don't want to get in the way of the player experience. We really only want to enhance it. We want the entire platform to give every gamer the best possible experience and deepen their relationship with your games. Because ultimately, that's the stuff that they love doing, and that's what we're trying to enable. So let's take a quick look at how we're doing it. We're focusing the investments of last year and looking forward into a number of key areas where players interact with gaming content and where they're looking for the most information about your game. The first of these areas is on-play. We'll dive into more detail, but the key things there are brand new surfaces like the U-tab and the gamer profile. This is where we're enabling you to reach users in ways that you have never reached them before and in parts of the life cycle which we have traditionally underinvested in. The second major area that we're investing in is in-game. It's bringing that seamless experience directly where players spend most of their time. By working directly with all of you, we can increase engagement and playtime by seamlessly surfacing directly relevant content only about the game that they're currently playing when they need it at the very moment they need it. And third is cross-device. Because we understand, as many of you do, that players' expectations about where and when they play are really, really rapidly evolving. We know that when someone starts playing on a PC, they continue playing on a PC as well as the mobile, and it's net incremental. We want to work with you to make sure that when a gamer loves your game, they can play it on any screen that they want to, and they can play it where they love as well. By linking and serving gamers across all of these areas, we can build together a better, more engaging, and fun experience for everybody. And a better, more engaging, and fun experience for everyone is a platform that delivers more engagement, more DAU, and more monetization for you. So let's dive into the first new feature, which is U-tab. I feel like you've heard about this quite a lot today already. So you heard about it from Mecca, and you heard about it from me, and Sam mentioned it as well. Just to remind you, it's a brand new top-level destination on Play. You can see it in the bottom right on our primary navigation. And it basically collects together everything about Play that is relevant to this user. It has an extremely strong bias at launch for games. This means that if your game is one of the 5 most recently played games on the device, it will show up on the U-tab. This is why I described it as evergreen featuring. If you're there and you're competing for the attention with other games on device, the U-tab is one of the best ways that you can put your best foot forward, grab your players' attention, and really kind of try to get them back into your game. It's fundamentally powered by 3 core technologies that you should understand. The first is Play Game Services. Play Game Services is the transfer layer that enables you to send information to Play so Play can better represent itself on your behalf. Integrating Play Game Services is the best way to make Play a more personal and relevant experience for your gamers to drive more access. The second core technology is promotional content. These are your live ops, your offers, your events, and critically, your YouTube videos. You can link any YouTube channel or playlist to automatically pull the content directly into the U tab and onto your details page. You can do this on a language country level, so you can tailor the experience directly if you're running especially regional marketing. And the third key program is Playpoints. Playpoints is the way to reach the highest number of high-value users on Play. And when you configure Playpoints coupons or in-app offers, their in-app items, they directly appear on the U tab itself. Now, instead of just talking to you about it with this, I want to jump to my personal device now and show you literally what the U tab looks like today for me. It's a live demo, so you know what could go wrong. Could we jump to the device, please? In case you're wondering, this is my dog. His name is Ollie. I shamelessly use him in front of audiences to garner their love. So let's fire up Play. You can see here that I'm a Play Pass subscriber, as I'm sure all of you are as well. But what we're talking about today is the U tab, so I'm going to jump to it now. So let's take a quick tour. You can immediately see at the top of the U tab there are some key features for higher value gamers and users. First off is one-click access to my gamer profile. There are two things you should understand about me as a gamer. The first is that I love tacos, and the second is that I'm really intense when I play, which really, really explains my Gen AI avatar there. Although if you haven't done so already, then you can play about with as many AI avatars as you want. Actually, I do really love the broccoli avatar as well, to be fair. But I recommend you go and have a play about with that. We had some really good fun delivering Gemini directly into the experience for avatars. Also on the gamer profile very quickly, you can see the social graph, so my friends and followers, and being able to start kind of building that up. And then I've got direct access to things like my Playtime stats. Jumping back to the U tab, the next thing you can see is Playpoints, right? Playpoints is a core value that we give gamers. It sits at the top of the U tab, and with one click, I can jump into some of the most important surfaces for higher value users on Play. You can see here that it's taken me directly to the Earn tab, and as well as the things that I'm currently doing, you'll notice that it has the special offers that we run on developers' behalves when they join the Playpoints program. Additionally, it's got all of the things that I can spend my Playpoints on. This is a really competitive area. Just to remind you, the 300 million Playpoints members are sitting on hundreds of millions of credit and value. It is essentially a line of value that users can spend in your game. But if you want access to it, you need to be configuring the offers or the coupons to give them the excuse to do it. Jumping back to the U tab, then I'm going to highlight a few other things. Right at the top, there's a major news and notice area. This is where some of the biggest partnerships that we run are going to be appearing, and you can see here the amazing league that we're running with Cybo and Subway Surfers at the moment, and we'll hear a bit more from them later. Going further down, you get a sneak peek of the brand new streak designs the team are working on. We've already seen really, really good results from play streaks driving increased engagement in games that are part of the platform, and that will only continue. And then we get into the rich content that I was talking about. So let's take a quick look again at Subway Surfers. Subway Surfers have deeply integrated with a lot of the platform features. This literally means that they have more space on U tab. You can see here that I'm going after the I've got the Power 2 achievement. I'm 2/3 of the way there. I don't know about you, but I'm a completist, so it really drives me back into the game. I can also see the achievements that I've recently got and what's still upcoming. We're automatically pulling in their events, offers, and videos. So if I'm wondering what game to play today of the 5 games on my device, I can immediately see what Subway Surfers has to offer, and it pulls me back in. Coupons and in-app items for Playpoints will also appear here, as well as linked YouTube videos. There are other games on the device, and this is not to shame, that currently aren't running a live op or don't have Playpoints enabled. We can't show what you don't send us. So it's really up to you to decide how engaging and literally how large you want the space on the U tab. Because when you send us great content that you think is great for your users, we will show it here. And it's entirely up to you what you send us, and it's entirely up to you whether you do it. But the power is in your hands to make the U tab a fantastic tool to engage and reacquire your users. Can we jump back to the presentation, please? So that was a quick tour of my personal U tab. I think most of you should already have access to it if you're in the EEA, so you feel free to kind of dive in and have a play yourselves. I'm relieved that none of my friends sent me any embarrassing notifications while we continued, so I'm just going to roll on to the next thing that we announced, which is Sidekick. As we said, Sidekick is a helpful in-game overlay. It's specifically designed to keep your users in the game itself. First, it turns external incentives into in-game motivation. So streaks, quests, achievements, things that we award play points for playing in your game, they're all here. And they're here because we know that users start their journeys on play and decide to jump into your game and complete something, and they want to follow their progress along. Secondly, it's designed to drive direct monetization. We've made spending points effortless in your game. By integrating coupons and credit exchanges, Sidekick enables people to draw down the value that they've collected with points without having to leave your game and spend it immediately. And as I'm sure all of you know, the fewer clicks from intention to actually spending, the higher the conversion rate and the better your monetization funnel. With Sidekick, there are 2 taps and no distractions to do that, versus what we had yesterday or today, which is around a 12-step process. And third, Sidekick minimizes the friction to get help, which is one of the primary reasons people leave games when they don't want to. By featuring Gemini-powered live assistance and proactive tips, we eliminate the need for people to leave, and so they can stay in your game and continue to do the things that they love. All of these come together into the benefits of the Level Up program. So let's just remind you about them very, very quickly. First, by being part of the program, you maximize your reach with eligibility for enhanced featuring across play for new and existing gamers. You get increased acquisition with boosted organic visibility, and you have larger market opportunities with cross-platform publishing. If we step down the life cycle, secondly, you get to re-engage, retain, and reacquire users on brand new, high-quality engaging surfaces like the U tab. And you can use Sidekick to minimize distraction in-game and maximize playtime and increase retention. And then lastly, you directly boost monetization. You have access to play points coupons automatically if you want to configure them. That is great for converting higher value users. And you can drive higher quality installs via PGS-enabled achievements, quests, and other features that are turned on in the platform. All of these are a really, really powerful suite of tools for you to use to drive your business success across your entire life cycle. Now, the benefits don't stop there. We're dedicated to building more and more into Level Up, so you get not just benefits today, but next year, and into the future as well. As I said, all these benefits are designed to recognize and reward games that are building great experiences. Now I want to tell you about how we are evaluating that, and I want to be as transparent and explicit as possible. The user experience guidelines are the baseline game features that enable you to attain full access to the program benefits that I just described. The user experience guidelines represent a foundation to the program. They focus on creating more rewarding, more seamless gamer journeys and delivering the continuity that we know that players want. Phase 1 is all about rewarding journeys. So for this phase, we're looking for a minimum of 10 PGS achievements that are high quality, ideally including 1 incremental achievement. We're also recommending that 4 of these are unlocked in the first hour of gameplay, because it enables us to run quests on your behalf, and we'll hear more about them later. Secondly, We'll talk about implementing Play Game Sidekick. As I said, for most of you, if you're using app bundles, then it's going to be a single click in Play Console that we will launch early next year and make it super easy for you to test. The deadline for phase 1 is July next year. Going on to phase 2, it's really about player continuity. And for this, there are 2 things to bear in mind. The first is cloud save. Now, most of you already have cloud save solutions, and I have no interest in changing them. The baseline requirement here is that you just have a cloud save solution. It could be yours, it could be a third party's, it could be Play Game Services, it could be Firebase. We really, really don't mind. The key thing is that players do not lose their progress. And then secondly, by using Play Game Services, you can sync your cloud save ID across every Android device in the fleet automatically. So when I move to another device, when I get a new phone, when I suddenly fire up my tablet, you can automatically recognize me, sign me in, and then return my game progress. The deadline for phase 2 is November. I should say November next year, because we're in October. Otherwise, it would be really scary. Just to be very, very clear, titles that don't meet the user experience guidelines by the milestone dates will start losing access to the level up benefits. This includes the enhanced exposure on high visible surfaces like the Games Home and the U tab. It's how we're really working together to drive a higher quality of gameplay experience across the platform. And it's how we're making sure that titles and developers that lean in to create really great experiences for our shared gamers get the benefits of the platform itself. Because we do really want to recognize and reward all of you when you create amazing experiences. Let's jump in really quickly to achievements. They're provenly highly effective to drive engagement. I'm sure most of your games have achievements integrated inside already, and many of you have already used Play Game Services. When we say that we're looking for high-quality achievements, then we're looking for achievements that cover the game's lifespan. This includes ones that you can get in the first hour, and maybe ones that go all the way to the end and are super rare to really reward your dedicated gamers. Although the baseline is 10, when I'm asked by developers what I recommend, I'd say 40, but it's really, really up to you. Secondly, achievements showcase progress. So think about those key milestones in your game where you want to really raise a flag, say congratulations. When would you high-five your friend for making that sudden light point? You want to balance this. So the next thing to do is to consider balancing your unlock rate. You want achievements which are easy to achieve at the beginning, so you build expectations and that you start rewarding newbies. And you want to make sure that there are rare achievements towards the end that are highly rewarded and achievable. And the incremental achievements that you saw Subway Surfers using so well, they're a great way to show users how much progress they've made and how much further they can go to really drive them back into your game. And lastly, they should be fun. They should be delightful. To maximize enjoyment, make sure that your achievements have compelling, human understandable names, unique images, and even employ some hidden achievements as well. Dredge were fantastic at that when I was playing it earlier this year. And consider a diversity of goals that matches the diversity of your gameplay and the diversity of your gamers. By applying these principles, you turn a simple feature into a really deep driver of loyalty, revenue, and retention. Underlying all of this is Play Game Services. You should make sure that you're initiating Play Game Services on startup as specified in our documentation. We have heard your feedback about this. So we've made some critical changes to Play Game Services that are launching in November. I mean next month, not November in a year's time. Specifically, you're going to be able to choose whether Play Game Services automatically shows the new user sign up or not. We've heard from some developers that you'd rather wait and pop that message at a later date, and we're giving you full control over when you show it. So you can choose the onboarding that you make sure works for you. Now, you've heard a lot about achievements from me, but I want to pass over to Rafael now to talk to you about how Cybo have approached achievements. Please welcome him to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for the opportunity to be here and for all the spotlight that we are getting today on the keynote and also here. It was really nice to see you playing a lot of Subway Surfers recently and trying to unlock achievements. And so how we see achievements, and just try to give a little bit of context on how we operate and work towards it. So the way that I see it, I think we as game developers, we all agree that progression mechanics, they are important across the board for our retention, for getting players to come back, for players to really enjoy the game. And that is the daily goals, these are the daily missions, these are even the battle passes. Achievements is not different. Achievement is yet another way for us to provide progress to the player. You give them a reason to come back and to enjoy the game. But I think the fundamental difference between achievement, and this is something that was coming to my mind while doing the research for this presentation, was that achievements are there forever. Provided that you keep your account, you're going to have that logged to your account until you have that account active. And then if you think about it, when I decided to work with games, that was almost 7 years ago or so, I did that because I love games, and I think that the majority of the people that enroll to work with games has the same intent, is because we want to create really nice experience to the players. We want to craft something beautiful, something that they can talk about. And achievement is yet another tool that can help with that, because again, the difference from the other kind of progression mechanics that they're gonna be with the player until they have the account live. And I think as a game developer, that is a privilege, but it's also duty, right? We need to make sure that we're crafting a story, a journey that the players can be proud about and that they can really enjoy it. And then I was doing the research, and you can see here that these are a little bit of my story with some of the achievements. And for me, it was really nice to see that when Kingdom Rush first came out back in the day, I loved the game so much that I decided that I was going to complete every single achievement. And I did it. I just didn't remember that. But now it's a story that I like to tell. And then the other two games on the far left, those are games that I worked back in the day. And I didn't remember about them. But then just going through it and, oh, nice, great achievements. But not so much in terms of what the achievements require. And this is a realization that I've been going through in how we should actually approach into how we're going to craft achievements. And it goes much in line with what Tom just said. So the way that I do things right now, and the way that the team explore and they approach into how to make achievements, is you should have an intent. And the best way for me is getting the game, the event that it's coming live, or when your game is on soft launch, or you want to introduce something new, play the game with intent, and try to understand what is the motivation behind you getting engaged to the game. And then after that, you validate with data, and you can see that actually players are doing what you thought would be interesting. And then the next step after that is, okay, so if the players are getting to, let's say, 50 coins on the first day of playing the game, let's put it 20% on top of that and require players to get 70 coins to unlock an achievement. That can help with either extending the session or getting the player to come back the next day, and you're nudging them just a tiny bit forward to build that engagement with you. And I think it's very important that you start with intent, but you validate with data, and then you validate with more data after. You're going to check what is the completion rate, how long players are taking to complete the achievement, and then just keep tweaking it. But we also know, and Subway Surfers is also a special case, we have 20 million players coming back to this game every day. There are going to be a lot of different players with different engagement patterns. And because these patterns are different, we try to find how can we deliver something to everyone. And this is how this is how the achievements work at Subway Surfers, where the achievements, they actually progress. So they go all the way from bronze, and then they evolve as the more you do, all the way to champion. And don't get me wrong, getting a champion achievement, it's super, super hard. But we know that with bronze, we're trying to offer something for the very 5 minutes, very initial 5 minutes, and then a champion, they are the achievements for the really long run. So everybody gets a little bit of it, and everybody can enjoy it, and this can be also a point of conversation. And then I go a little bit about the point of conversation. As Tom was saying, we try to find what is a unique kind of approach to make this achievement really interesting, like a visual, a title, and even more than just building progression-related mechanics, how can we build stuff that get the players to talk about it? So we have this kind of a memeable approach on building players to talk about the achievements. And just recently, we made a revamp on the achievement systems where before there used to be like spray cans as a symbol of you unlocking and progressing the achievement. And now you actually get a badge, and that badge is unique, and you can show your profile. That is just another topic for players to talk and showcase and you know, really engage to the features that you want to go about. And when I said this is not only about F2E, this is not only about progression mechanics, we also tried to come up with interesting and new ways of getting players to engage. So this is not live yet. It's something that we're just crafting, where there is an achievement or players are going to get achievement randomly attributed to their accounts. And the only way for you to unlock the achievement, if you don't have it, is by befriending the people who have it. And then you need to start a spiral of people connecting to each other and trying to figure out who else get the achievement so you can actually evolve it and then eventually get to champion. Of course, there is a strong business reason for that, which is we want players to talk to each other, get the word of mouth going. We want to invest on all the social parts of the game. And all this, at the end of the day, it's helpful to us. And I think the fundamental message to me is even though achievements by itself are not going to go and deliver all the business metrics, that is yet another tool that you can explore, and you got to get players to talk about it. And when you do it right, when you make it nice, we actually get players to go on our social channels, we get players to really, you know, exchange ideas, and if they're talking about it, they're talking about game, and I think this is just a good thing for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Like, valuable, and I hope it's given all of you some inspiration for what you're going to do when you get back into your offices. Jumping back to the user experience guidelines, then I mentioned cloud save earlier on, and I just want to hit a couple of really important points for you. Meeting this guideline means that your game backs up, and retrieves the player's latest game state. It's fairly simple, and many of you already do it. It ensures that a player's progress is saved, and it makes sure that it's correctly restored. This is really important as people switch devices, get new devices, start playing on PC, like fire up the tablet, put it on XR. As I said before, no one wants to lose their progress, and in fact, doing so is one of the key churn points from a game. As we mentioned, the good news is that if you already have a cloud save solution in place, that's great. You're already meeting this guideline. If you don't and you're considering which one to go for, then there are loads and loads of different options. As I said, we do not mind which one you use. You can build your own. You can use Play Game Services or Firebase. You could use any third-party cloud save solution as well. The second part of this story is making the experience seamless for users. And for that, we provide seamless restore using Play Game Services. The vision is simple but fundamental. A player wants to be able to switch device, and they want to be recognized, and they want to be recognized immediately. It should feel like magic. They should just be able to pick up an Android device and start playing where they left off. To implement seamless restore, and to eliminate this friction, then we have Play Game Services. You can use the Recall API to store your own tokens with us, or you can store the ID that you get from Play Game Services as a mapping in your own databases. The key thing here is that we are not looking to replace any identity solution you already have. Play Game Services is simply the easy way that you can sync whatever cloud identity that you're using across Android devices so you can instantly recognize your gamers. I also mentioned about integrating Sidekick. We understand it's a new technology, and we understand it's a new surface. So starting very early next year, you won't need any kind of complex rollout to test. If you're using app bundles, in Play Console, you'll be able to enable both testing and later in the year rollout seamlessly with a one-click process. You'll be able to safely do it for internal testing for your teams first, so you can test and feel confident before pushing it into production. Now, all of the features that I've been talking about, achievements, custom audience targeting, everything else, they're powered by the strong, consistent foundations that we've been talking about today. We're committed to continuing to invest in Play Game Services to make it the integrated backbone for every new gaming feature on Google Play. So, we've covered the guidelines, and we've covered some of the core benefits. Let's focus on how to get the most out of the platforms that we've been talking about. How do you really turn the dial up? When we look at the hardware ecosystem today, we see that cross-device gameplay is only going up and up and up. And the more devices someone plays your game on, the more they play your game. If I choose to start playing a game I love on mobile on PC, then it doesn't just cannibalize the mobile time, it actually increases my total playtime overall. We think that this is true for mobiles, for high-end tablets, for PCs, and for laptops. It's an ecosystem which is only going to grow and grow and grow, and we especially see substantial headroom and growth in attachable mobile controllers. But as players play on more devices, and especially with AMCs, as players start getting used to using their mobile a bit like a console, they expect the experience to keep pace with them. The message I want you all to take away is not only are devices and these expectations coming, they are already here. It's a market that is rapidly expanding, and you can take advantage of it. But the way you do that is by future-proofing your game. And you do that by integrating mouse, keyboard, and controller support. This is recommended. So at the moment, this does not gate any of the platform benefits that I spoke about earlier. But we do want to be as transparent as possible about where we see the ecosystem going, and to give you forward-looking advice on how to really tap into the potential of the modern gaming ecosystem. So, the way I would think about mouse, keyboard, and controller support is really as a strategic investment. It's a way to make sure you are already going where your gamers are going. Cross-platform compatibility is a major theme in Level Up, and we want to ensure that games are playable across multiple devices. Doing this means that you are already fully playable across the new devices that your users are going to be using. So, finally, I want to share the inside track. Once you've considered the guidelines, once you've built your amazing game, once you're across all of those brand new surfaces and Level Up and the Play Games ecosystem, then how are you going to maximize the opportunity you just unlocked for yourself? As I said earlier, UTab is fundamentally powered by 3 core technologies. It's PlayPoints, it's Play Game Services, and it's using promotional content in YouTube videos as well. I'm going to get out of the way so you can take a photo. We've gone for a publish once, publish everywhere approach. So everything you do with these spaces enhances your details page and your store listing on Play. It enhances your UTab experience. Where relevant, it enhances the sidekick. And it makes it easier for us to really light up your title across all of Play's surfaces. YouTube videos especially have proven particularly successful. It's a key component for how you can really engage users on Play. You can easily link a YouTube channel or a playlist. The thing I love about playlists is it allows you to pull in content from your creator community as well. And you can target it by language and country. So as I said earlier, you can make sure that it's appropriate as you're doing your international marketing. We've seen significant increases in reinstalls and game opens delivered by games that have integrated YouTube videos, both on UTab and in details pages. PGS also unlocks custom audience targeting. The custom audiences APIs allow you to tag your own users with your proprietary data. It gives you surgical precision on play to target promotions, offers, and information based on game state. It's already available to all of you today via PGS version 2, and it's the same service you're going to be integrating for achievements as well. It's a powerful tool for segmentation and re-engagement, and it allows you to leverage your deep understanding of your gamers to make play work harder for you. Now, I'm going to hand over to Tanja, who's going to deep dive into the third key program I spoke about, which is Playpoints. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thanks. Hello, everybody. So as Tom outlined, there are a lot of powerful new features that can help you grow and engage your user base, but I wanted to dive deeper into a particularly powerful tool to drive revenue and retention, which is Google Play Points. All right, so some of you may already be familiar with this program, as we have over 300 million users in about 36 markets today. You might even be a member yourself as a user. But as a developer, if you participate in this program, you get access to a large and highly engaged user base. So this is not just about scale, but in fact, the majority of this user base is composed of our most engaged and most valuable users. You'll also get the ability to boost your game's performance with special Google-funded Playpoints promotions. So it's an additional promotional surface. And lastly, you get the chance to take advantage of Google funding 100% of those Playpoints for exchange. So this means we absorb the cost of the points users use to redeem your developer-provided offers. So how does Playpoints drive and reward gameplay? It's actually quite simple. So members earn points for every single purchase they make via Play in any game. So as Tom mentioned earlier, we essentially fund a credit line that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars per year. And as a developer, being part of this program lets you unlock this line of credit. So then members can exchange their points for developer-provided offers, such as coupons or IAP offers. So this is where your game benefits directly. For example, users can spend points on more gameplay, utilizing your game's exchange offers, and all of this you can easily set up in console. And as Tom mentioned before, all of these offers will populate in our new Level Up exclusive surfaces, such as the UTab or Sidekick. So in theory, this all sounds great, right? But we know that for you, it all comes down to measurable results. And we've heard your feedback about console reporting, and we're excited to announce that we just revamped and consolidated reporting for Playpoints in console. So this helps you to see the full value of participating in the program. So we have 3 new metrics. One that lets you see the total value of your Playpoints promotions. So that's a brand new metric that shows you the combined value of being part of the program. Then also for the first time, we're surfacing Google-funded promotions reporting. So these are these additional promotions. And you can see how much value those promotions drive. And then there's a new additional metric for Playpoints potential. So you can learn more about the audience that you reach with Playpoints. For example, how many of your current users are already on the points program. We also heard your feedback that you want to be more flexible with the ways you set up rewards offers. So we introduced 2 new features that help you tailor your offers more effectively. The first one is that we are no longer requiring a discount for exclusive IAPs, like rare in-game items. So this lets you use Playpoints to try exclusivity without compromising price integrity. Second, you can now cap coupon redemptions by region, users, and time. And this is perfect for seasonal events, now with the holidays coming up. So it allows you to drive urgency and maximize the impact of limited time offers. Beyond those improvements that we made to our regular rewards offers, I also want to highlight a new engaging way to reward users for gameplay, which is PlayPoints quests. So a quest essentially rewards users outside your game for completing certain in-game actions. For example, a user can get 50 play points for installing a game, completing a tutorial, reaching a specific level, or unlocking a specific character. We have seen really strong results with these quests so far. As you can see here, I think the numbers speak for themselves, driving strong increases in user acquisition, retention, and spend. I want to point out that this program is still limited, but in order to be eligible, you have to be a PlayPoints partner, and you also have to have live quality achievements that we just talked about. So I recommend that you get started on those. So instead of hearing the theory, let's hear again from one of our partners. I want to welcome Aviva Telias, who's the head of organic growth at Playtika, and she's going to share their experience with Quest and the impressive results.
Thank you. It's great to be here. We at Playtika were thrilled to be one of the first partners to integrate the new quest feature into our game, Solitaire Grand Harvest. We designed a quest that included a series of user actions, such as using a wildcard and completing certain levels where the user gets 50 Google Play points rewarded upon completion. Our goal for this campaign was to attract high-quality, new users and get them genuinely engaged with the core experience of the game. Quests gave us a new way to turn the onboarding flow into something more structured and motivating. It helped new players quickly understand what makes Solitaire Grand Harvest unique and encouraged them to stay invested beyond those first few sessions. And we were very pleased with the results. The metrics do speak for themselves. The Quest campaign resulted in a large 154% spike in organic installs. Critically, those are high-quality players, demonstrated by the 33% lift in day 2 retention. That's real, sustained growth. Monetization metrics were also very strong, with a 129% increase in day 7 first-time buyers. Quests immediately translated into stronger monetization because they guided new users into the full value-added experience of the game.
Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Before you leave, are you okay if I ask you a few questions?
Absolutely.
These are completely spontaneous. You can tell because they're on the card. First off, amazing results, and thank you for sharing. You kind of mentioned at the beginning that you were specifically interested in getting high-quality users. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about why you thought the Quest was a good fit for that.
Sure. So actually, we had experience in the past with another Playtika title, Best Fiends, and there we saw amazing results, and good news travels fast within Playtika. So when the opportunity came up to do the same for Solitaire Grand Harvest, we were definitely all in. Because Solitaire Grand Harvest puts a fresh spin on classic Solitaire, we knew that if we could get new players engaged early into the core loop, we would have highly engaged players. So we also decided to time this quest as we were doing a Snoopy IP collaboration. So having Snoopy featured throughout the game encouraged users even more to install and explore the game. And this timing definitely helped amplify the performance and impact both on the IP collaboration and the Quest campaign.
That's great. Thank you. When I look at this and I kind of talk to other developers, then obviously like integration time is a concern, right? Because your teams are really, really busy. All of your teams are busy as well. Can you talk at all to what the technical integration was like and how difficult it was?
Absolutely. So the initial implementation took about a week. Following that, it was actually pretty straightforward to implement each achievement, thanks to the very clear documentation and support from Google. So the effort was pretty low, actually, from an engineering perspective.
That's a relief to hear. And our engineering lead is at the back, so he's probably relieved as well, because otherwise you could have given him a hard time. So you spoke a little bit about how much you thoughtfully designed the quest. Can you talk a little bit more about how you chose the specific actions?
Sure. So we wanted the quest to be very intuitive and follow user actions that new users would generally take anyway. So level 5 stood out as a great early milestone. That's when they start using the first wildcard. So that's a very early on upgrade to gameplay. So that checked the box for an early satisfaction reward. And then we wanted to focus on what would be our longer-term goal. And our user data showed that most new users actually reach level 20 very early on. But it usually actually happens on day 2. So we chose that as our second achievement so that there would be a longer-term motivation, as well as a reason to come back and play some more. And the results can definitely be seen in our uplift in day 2 retention.
Yeah, I really loved how you thought about your game loop and how you use play points to incentivize people further in to the point where they love the game and carry on playing.
Yeah.
I could ask you so many more questions, but we're going to need to move on. So thank you so much for sharing your insights. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to share a tiny bit about what's up next, and then we can move over for about 5 minutes of questions, so get yourselves ready. We're constantly experimenting and doing more, and one of the most exciting integrations coming up we've already shared, which is Gemini and Sidekick. We know that users spend between 5 and 30 minutes on average every day searching for help in your games, and Sidekick is specifically designed to shortcut that process so they stay in your game, both with proactive tips and tricks and with a conversational UI with Gemini, which gets out the way and allows you to play in real time while having a conversation. It's as close as I've ever got to playing a game like I did when I was younger with my best friend by my side giving me advice. Next, I want to share some of the brand new things that are coming up. We're going even further with leagues. So we're going to be doubling down both on developing new features, opening up to more of you. So if you're interested, please talk to your partnership manager, and starting to look at how we can extend it further in the social graph with duels and friend challenges. We're going even further. Based on the experience that we've had with quests, we want to make sure that it's available to all of you if you integrate high-quality PGS achievements as we've described. And we're looking to create brand new re-engagement quests with new data that we can serve automatically on your behalf. If that sounds interesting, again, talk to your partnership managers, because we're always on the lookout for EAP partners and people who want to lean in the same way that you've seen from our partners today, because they've been amazing partners with us. We're going to continue to build more and more experiences and rewards for you. The best part of Level Up is it's an immediate benefit. Today, you all have access to the things that we've spoken about, and it's up to you to take advantage and leverage them to grow your business. We've designed everything as social proofing across the entire platform. We look to boost your experience, and we're doing more with building more social proofing and automatic experiences over time as well. Bringing this all together, over the last few years, we've been intensely focused on creating a better gaming product, and a better gaming product for our gamers and for all of you as well. As you've seen today, we know that working together, we can do so much more. We recognize the future of the entire ecosystem in which we're all working depends on deep partnerships between us and all of you. As I said in the keynote, the Level Up program is our commitment to this shared vision. It's our commitment that when we work with you, when we work with the developer community, when we truly work together to drive the ecosystem forward, then we will make sure that the Level Up program and Play becomes an engine for growth for your business with us. Your commitment to quality unlocks our commitment to your growth. So let's build the future together.